Well, and another thing, see how
this plaster Paris
level
won't
the
have to worry about
floor is.
the toilet.
If the toilet needs to be relifted in the future, we're going to the toilet come right up and the plaster Paris will stay right in place. And we're going to use some plaster Paris to stick it to the toilet on the floor off, so that when we set the toilet back, the toilet will be nice, level, steady, and straight. First, we're going to cut the water to the toilet off. And what I like to do is take a plunger and just plunge the remaining water in the tank out, in the bowl itself. Now let's disconnect the supply line to the toilet tank. And another thing, usually I like to put a small bowl or make sure that you have a towel underneath to nice big sponge excess water that comes set to the side off after ready to go on the supply line. And what we're going to do with the sponge is remove the soak the sponge with water, and when we start wiping around the toilet, you'll see here and a little bit side reset the toilet.
I thought you were still out the bar. Yes, ma'am. Oh, this girl came home, yeah. Oh, okay. How time did you get home the other night? About 12 something. Really? Did you finish it? Yeah.
And don't worry about putting too much plaster Paris down there, because we're going to wipe the excess plaster Paris away anyway. It looks as though someone has tried to make repairs before toilet in place. And what I like to do is I like to leave the existing wax on there, just put a whole new wax ring right on top of there. Just it's always good to have just to squish it down right on top of the plaster Paris. I mean, it's not hurting in the wax. Just wax it on there and get a nice seal on the toilet. Now we have the toilet where we want. We just take our hand and start pushing the plaster Paris up with our shims and start any void that you might see up on the toilet. We're going to fill all these voids so we have a nice tight seal, and the shims we're going to fill all the voids, flush fit, all the low spots of the floor. And as we're doing this, we have the sponge and shims in place. That's when we're going to mix our plaster Paris and just kind of place the plaster Paris around it so that we can start leveling this floor off. Soak the sponge real good. Now, I usually carry a plastic container around in my truck. The purpose for the sponge is so that we can get a nice plaster Paris in, smooth and clean finish. So if you have something like this, this is fine. And yes, that's the plaster Paris, and you can find it in most hardware stores. Now when you mix plaster Paris, all you're going to use is water, and you're just going to mix it just as if you would mix a cake mix, or we start flushing the excess away. You're just going to wipe mixing it until you get the right, then we just continuously rinse the sponge out back and forth, watery, not till we get to the biggest problem, mixing it not too thick. I mean, get our nice mixing it thick. Is now each time we it will dry fast, and you want to start using less water to set this towel in place before it dries too fast. Until close to the last wipe, and we want the sponge kind of dry. Now, one of the things you can't see right now is film and the access. I am running the water interface bowl towel. Now, if you're close to the tub, that's another place you can run the water. And as I'm mixing the plaster Paris, I just continuously let the water in the face bowl or tub just run, so that after my mixing, I can wash my hands, and the excess plaster Paris is just washed down the drain, and just keep the water running so it don't clog it up just until it dilutes and flushes it all away. And another thing, this plaster Paris, you remember, have to worry about it watery. It's going to run everywhere. If the toilet needs to be, not going to do you any good. Relifted in the future. So now we have the toilet to come right up, and the plaster Paris to stay right in place. And we can start placing it over the toilet. Won't be a problem. Shims and filling all the voids, all the low spots of the floor. And another thing, this plaster Paris, you won't have to worry about it sticking to the toilet. If the toilet needs to be relifted in the future, the toilet will come right up, and the plaster Paris will stay right in place. So sticking to the toilet won't be a problem. And another thing, make sure that you have a nice big sponge set to the side, ready to go. And what we're going to do with the sponge is we're going to soak the sponge with water, and we're going to start wiping around the toilet. You'll see here in a little bit when we reset the toilet.
I thought you were still out the barber. He just left. Oh, did he? He just left and came home, yeah. Oh, okay. How time did you get home the other night? About 12 something. Really? Did you finish it? Yeah. Okay.
And don't worry about putting too much plaster Paris down there, because we're going to wipe the excess plaster Paris away anyway. Now we set our toilet in place. And we just kind of squish it down right on top of the plaster Paris and the wax ring. Now we have the toilet where we want. we just take our hand and start pushing the plaster Paris up into the any void that you might see up under the toilet. We're going to fill all these voids so we can have a nice tight seal and a nice flush fit. And as we're doing this, we have the sponge to the side. Make sure that we soak the sponge real good. The purpose for the sponge is so that we can get a nice, smooth, and clean finish. See, we take the sponge and the water and we start flushing the excess away and wiping it up in the sponge. Then we just continuously rinse the sponge out back and forth until we get to the point where we get our nice smooth finish. Now each time we come back with the sponge, we start using less and less water until close to the last wipe, and we want the sponge kind of dry so we can wipe up the film and the excess of the plaster Paris around the towel and the toilet.